Hi there and welcome. My name is Jennifer Stanton. I'm a sales engineer here at Samsung. In this video, I'll walk you through how to set up Knox Manage for the first time. This video is part of a Knox setup series designed to guide you step by step through getting started with Samsung Knox. If you haven't yet created your Knox account, don't worry. Check out the playlist linked below for everything that you need to get up and running from the very beginning. So let's dive in. The first thing you're going to need to do is log in to your Samsung Knox account. Again, if you haven't created one, just go back to the links below to see from the very beginning how to set up your account. So I'm going to log in. That's right. Enter my password. Why not? And we're in. So over here on the left, we see Knox Mobile Enrollment, Knox Manage, ePhoto, Knox Asset Intelligence, Remote Support, and additional solutions. Today, we're going to set up Knox Manage. So we're going to go ahead and click on Knox Manage. Since this is the first time that we've ever clicked on Knox Manage, it's going to ask us to fill out a form. If you have more than one tenant ID here, it will ask you to create a subdomain. But since this is the first time I've created a Knox account with this tenant, it's just going to ask me to verify the tenant. Now I click on Knox Manage and it should open. The Getting Started guide is very good. It will walk you through step by step how to create your Knox account for you. And it will help you create a user and a group and assign an application, assign a profile. I'm going to walk you through on my own instead. So the first thing that I like to do is first create the Google account that will be associated with Knox Manage. This Google account job is to forcibly install your managed Play Store applications. So in order to do that, you need to go over to Setting and Android Enterprise. And now you need to link a Google account with this Knox Manage account. So if you already have a Google account signed in, it will take you to that page. So I don't have one here, so I'm just going to create one. Yes, that's fine. Invalid email address. It's because of the plus. Sign up. So now it's going to ask me to sign in. Actually, I need to create the account. That's fine. Jennifer Video 452. Just write down what it creates for you, so you don't have to remember it. Create yourself a password. And click Next. Confirm that you're not a robot. So now we've created a Google account that will be used to install Play Store applications on our managed devices. So Let's click on get started. Now we're linking. So that was just creating the Google account. Now we're linking the Google account with Knox Manage. You don't have to fill this out, by the way. Complete the registration. Once I click this link, it's going to take me back over to the Knox admin portal. This is what it looks like to have your Google account linked with Knox Manage. And if you want to have the apps update automatically, you can tell it to auto update over any network. And then if you want that to happen during a certain time, you can tell it to do that during a very specific time of day for updating those apps. I'm just going to click on do not use and click save. So now my Jennifer Video 452 Gmail account is what will be used to install applications to the devices. Now, users will not have access to this Gmail account, nor will I have to log them in to this Gmail account. It will be automated and they won't even know what Google account this is. So next we'll be creating the group. So I can, with Knox Manage, I can group my users or my devices by their role. So if I have folks that are driving for me, I have folks that are in the office for me, those folks need different applications and I can put them in different groups. So let's create a group called drivers. It's a user group. So I also have the ability to create a device group. So that's a list of IMEIs, but I'm going to create a user group. And then I'm going to, I don't already have users, so I'm going to go ahead and click save. We're going to create another group called office staff. And this will help us know the difference between our office staff and our drivers out in the field. Okay, so now I have two groups. I still have this default group. That's totally fine. So next I'm going to create a user. So I'm going to add Bonnie. And she has a password. And she has an email. Now, if Bonnie did not have an email address, I can put any email address in here that I want to, as long as it is formatted as an email address. This is not being used by Knox Manage for any reason other than to send an enrollment email, and we don't have to send that at all. If you want to put your admin's email address in here instead for every user, you're totally welcome to do that. We're not going to send it any email. So next we're going to create or select the group that we created. Bonnie is office staff. So I'm just going to click on office staff. Now she is in the office staff group and she will get all of the apps and policies that we assign to the office staff. Next we're going to check all of these. I think all of the rest of this is fine. If I want to submit Bonnie's information, I can do that. For next, I'm just going to click on save. Now Bonnie is created and she is part of the office staff group. I am going to create one more. I'm going to add Joe. Joe is one of our drivers. So the username, by the way, I put those as lowercase because I want them to not have to have their username capitalized when the devices are enrolling. We'll talk about enrolling devices a little bit later. Put Joe in the drivers group and then click save. An alternative way to do this is to just create one user and call them drivers. And then you can have all of your devices logged into the same user. That's totally allowed. Just like this. And we're also going to put drivers into the drivers group and click save. So now we have users and we have groups. Next, we need applications. So we're going to go add a few applications. These are going to be fictitious applications, so I'm just going to show you how to add maybe a couple. The first application that I know that I need always is the Knox Manage Remote Support tool. I'm just going to search the Google Play Store for Knox Remote Support. This first app that comes up is the one that I want. I'm going to select it. Now when I add it here, I am just adding it to Knox Manage. So if I click save, it would just add it to my list of applications. But I'm going to click save and assign so that I can add it as my list of applications and also assign this application to my users. So I'm going to leave it as Android Enterprise. I want this application to automatically install for me. So I'm going to click automatic removable. I need this application to run the first time that it is installed. And the reason for that is this application has terms and conditions that need to be agreed to, and it needs to check the license key. This allows me to auto run the app at a later time from this console here. So some applications will have, permissions that need to be accepted, terms and conditions that need to be approved. All kinds of things at the very first time that app runs. So sometimes I may need to select after installation so that the app automatically runs as soon as it's installed. If you also want the app to auto run after every app update, you can select this, but I don't need that for this application. So I'm just going to click on drivers and office staff. I might as well click the default group too. I don't have anyone in that group, but I'm going to go ahead and select it. Click OK. So now the Knox Remote Support tool is added to my list of applications and also assigned to these groups. I'm going to add one more application. Let's add an application that also both my groups need. We're going to add Paycom so that they can check in and check out, clock in and clock out on their job. Select that. We're going to go ahead and save and assign because I want it automatically added to their devices. I don't think I need this application to run after it's installed because there's not initial setup. I mean, the user has to log in, but they can do that on their own. Let's go ahead and give this to everybody. And now the app will be installed but not auto run. And you can add all your list of applications here. Next, we're going to create a kiosk for our drivers. Just the drivers. The office staff do not need to be locked down into a kiosk, but the drivers do because I don't want them doing anything that they shouldn't be doing while driving. So I'm going to call this drivers kiosk. I can upload a JPEG image or PNG image and set a wallpaper background image for my users. So this is where I would put my company logo or something. So I don't have a wallpaper just yet, so we're just going to skip that for now. I might want to change the package name of that just so I can find it easier later. I do want the remote support tool to be able to run while in kiosk mode, so I'm going to add that to the list, but I don't necessarily need it on the home screen for my drivers. So we're just going to drag and drop Paycom onto the home screen. You can see it in portrait mode, you can see it in landscape mode. This advanced setting option opens up all kinds of other options where I get to choose, you know, what size the icon is. I can make the icon bigger here. I can choose what the text color looks like. Lots of different options here. I can choose which settings my users have access to. So I want to give them access to things like flashlight and Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, but I don't want to give them access to turn on and off location, so I'm going to lock that down. I think that's probably good. I don't want to give them access to airplane mode, so I don't want them turning off mobile data in any way, so let's just leave airplane mode disabled here. And click OK. So now that I've created this kiosk, I'm going to click Save, and it's going to create this launcher application for me. Now I haven't assigned it to my drivers yet. Assigning actually happens in the profile itself, so I'm going to create a profile next. Let's go over to Profile and click Add. This is my driver's profile, and it is for Android Enterprise and Samsung Knox devices, so I'm going to click on Save and Set Policy. So on the left side, I have two options. I have Android Enterprise and I have Samsung Knox. Our Samsung devices play in both of these categories. If I were to have checked the boxes for other devices like iOS, I would see an iOS option in here as well. So I'm going to scroll through some of these options here and select or deselect whatever I want. I do not want my users to be able to add their own Google account, but maybe I need my users to be able to add their own email account. So I'm just going to block list the Google domain like that. So now they can't add their own Google account. Only the managed Google Play account can be added. And then changes to managed Google Play, we're going to only allow the managed Google Play account, just like that. Now, if I wanted my users to be able to add their own Google account, I would not have put this in here, and I would have set that to allow all. That way they can add their own Google account just in case they have Gmail or Google Maps or something. I'm going to disable safe mode. I'm going to disable developer mode. This will keep my users out of areas of the device that they shouldn't be in. If I wanted to, I can also block factory reset. Just know that may lock up my device if I've blocked myself out of all other options. So this is probably something to save for later after you're done testing your profile. So next we're going to go and assign the kiosk. So kiosk app settings, I'm going to select multi-app because that's the type of kiosk that I created. I'm going to select my driver's kiosk here. And then next I want to open up utilities settings. So click on allow, and that opens up all these other options. If you don't do this, then you won't have access to the home button, for instance, or recent apps. Let's just select allow on all this. This gives them access to the status bar, see notifications. They can use the home button. They can select recent apps. And then if you want to disallow one of these one by one, you can do that too. Another really great option for my users, my drivers specifically, is a new option called Speed Lock. We're going to apply Speed Lock and see what its options are. I can lock the device screen It locks it so that you can't interact with the device. If the unit goes over a certain speed, in this case, it's defaulted to 30 miles per hour. So if my driver is on the highway, they're definitely going to be a little over 30 miles an hour. And then I can set a threshold. What this means is how long will it take to turn on. So as soon as you hit 30 miles an hour, then we're going to count down 5,000 milliseconds or 5 seconds, and then we'll lock the screen. This will prevent it from toggling on. If you set this down really low, like 1 millisecond, it will be instant. But then if you set this down really low, if you're hovering right around that 30 mile an hour zone, it may lock and unlock very rapidly. So if you set that to say 5 seconds, then it will wait a few seconds before locking that device. Keeps it from toggling in and out of lock very quickly. And then I get to choose what the screen looks like. So in this case, it says speed lock, slow down to access device, and that's totally fine. The transparency is 100 right now, which means that that screen will be completely transparent. You will be able to see whatever app was already running on the device. So if I had Google Maps up and I got over 30 miles an hour, I would still see Google Maps, but it would just have a message across it saying slow down to access device. I can see the screen, I can see the map is still moving, but I can't interact with it. And I think that's a very good use case. If I wanted the screen to be completely black, I could set this to 0 or any point in between. Sorry, I meant to say 50. Any point in between there, and it would be a dark screen, so it would darken the screen in this case, but I would still see Google Maps and I would see the speed lock. Or I can set it to 0 to have a completely black screen that just has these two messages on it. Make sense? So I think I want Google Maps to be seen in the background, so I'm just going to leave that as 100, and then we're going to go ahead and click Save and Assign. This is for the entire profile. And I want to assign this profile to my drivers. My office staff is going to get a different profile. So I'm just going to click on Assign. Staff profile. And these are also Android Enterprise users. Now, for these users, I may want to install a requirement that they have a passcode. So I'm going to also disallow developer mode, disallow safe mode. I am going to allow them to add or delete accounts, but I'm going to block com.google. Oops, I spelled that wrong. There we go. And same thing, I'm going to allow only the managed Google Play account. Very good. Next, we're going to go to lock screen because I want my staff users, not necessarily my kiosk users, because those devices are already locked. I don't want my drivers to have to enter a passcode when they use their device, but I do want my staff to have their device locked because they're going to be using applications that I don't want other people to get a hold of. So in here, I get to choose the complexity of my users. I do not get to set their passcode for them, but I get to set requirements for how that passcode should be. So if I say I want it to be maybe a low complexity, they can have a pattern or a numeric passcode. If I want the minimum length of that passcode needs to be 4, right? And so at the minimum, they can have a 4-digit PIN. If I wanted to set that to much higher, I can say alphanumeric and I can say 16 digits. Now they have to have both letters and numbers. I can set a minimum number of letters, a minimum number of numbers if I wanted to. And then I can say whether or not, how long that password is allowed to be in use before it expires, how long they have to take before they can set a new passcode. Lots of different options in here I recommend that if you need your users to have a passcode, you come in and play with these options here. So I'm going to set this to numeric, and I need a 4-digit PIN or larger. And then I also want to set some app restrictions. There's some applications that are pre-installed on the device that I don't want them to use, and that would be in here where I can say block certain apps from running. Now my app list is currently only these 2 applications. I do want those applications to be run. Maybe a better example would be I want to prevent applications from being uninstalled. So let's go in here and say I don't want the Knox remote support tool, and I don't want Paycom to be uninstalled, and that's going to prevent my users from uninstalling those apps that I have installed for them. Makes sense? All right. Next, I'm going to go to location, and I probably should have done this for the drivers as well. I'm going to go to location. I want the location setting to be forced on. I don't want them to be able to turn off location, and I'm going to allow the collection of the location data. This is being collected by Knox Manage, and I want to set the collection time to every 30 minutes. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and do that to my other group as well. This is my office staff, so I'm going to assign this to my office staff. And then let's go in the driver's profile. We're going to scroll down. We're going to click on modify policy. We'll go to location. We're going to set those same location policies to my drivers as well. I'm going to force on location. I want it to automatically collect that data every 30 minutes. And we're going to go ahead and click save. We've already assigned it, so we don't have to click save and assign. It's already assigned to our drivers. So now we have 2 profiles, a staff profile that's assigned to one group. I click on this little eye and it'll tell me it's assigned to office staff. And then a driver's profile that's also assigned to one group, and it should be the drivers. Very good. In the next video, I will show you how to enroll a device for the first time. And if you want a link to that video, just check out the description below. Have a nice day.